Right, good evening, everyone. Oops. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Dad. Can everybody hear me? Okay, so I don't know how many. There's 6 people watching. David Schultz. Hello, David says Bunker Main 22 reporting Bunker Oxford one situation. Main as of Ford. Confirmed cases 344, recovered 80, hospitalised 63, deaths 7. Oh, all is well over. Oh, David, you got the dreaded lurgy as well. I'm really sorry, mate. I really am. Matt Saylor. Hello, Matt. How are you? Nice to hear from you again. Watching from Brighton, hearing you loud and clear. Thanks, Matt. Thank you very much. I don't know who else is there. Denise Moore. Hello, Denise. Welcome, Denise. Had a bit of trouble getting on air. I've just wait for a few more of you to turn up. I was going to fill my jug of water, but I didn't have to. I thought I was already like 2 minutes late. I didn't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. I'll go and take a little break at one point and fill my jug then. But I got dragon juice. I was just wondering how you're all getting on. Hello, Dr. Jackie F. Johnson. How do you do? Do you know Mark Collett? Yes. He's a YouTuber. He's a guy I know him on Facebook as well. I think he's alt-right. And I watch his channel sometimes. He sometimes watches mine, but we disagree on an awful lot. Fairy Trish, hello. You can hear me loud and clear. Thank you very much. How are you, Fairy? Nice to see you. Al McCall, Dr. Jackie F. John, do you agree with him? With Mark Collett? On some things, yes, not on others. You have to be more specific. I've got to just share this now. The reason I was a bit late because I ended up like locking myself out of Facebook. You know, if you put an old password into Facebook, you end up like they lock you out and you have to reset your password. Is that now on Facebook? Let's just check. Yes, it is. Good. All right, I'm just going to share it on Twitter. That's now on Twitter. Good. I don't, because I'm trying to reduce. I'm trying to avoid the technical troubles that I've had before. Do you know what I mean? The technical problems I had before. So I'm locking out of everything I can. I've just got one browser open and that's this. Dr. Johnson says, good to see you, Ben. You too, Dr. Johnson. Thank you very much. Am I in isolation? Not anymore. I am now. I'm now in thing, of course, and all that sort of thing. And I'm not going out. I mean, there's nothing to do really except go home and go to work. So as soon as I finish work, I just come home because nothing else for it. But hello, Al McCall. I think I said hello to you. How do you do? Are you well, Al McCall? So if I've got 11 people watching, which is great. There'll probably be a few more turning up soon. Jackie Dr. Johnson says, how is the new book getting on? Well, not bad, thanks. I've been reading some research material. It's quite complicated. I've got to, because as I've explained before, it's like another alternate history story, like my original book, Roswell Rising, a novel of disclosure. The difference is the alternate timeline begins in 1918, 18, rather than 1947, as in the case with this book, which means it's more. I've got to basically do some more research and stuff like that. It's still got a bit of a cough, so oh yeah. Dr. Johnson says, yes, great book, Ben. I've read that. Oh, good. Thanks, Jackie. Much appreciated. Can I call you Jackie? Much appreciated. Duppy Hunter's there. Hello. Duppy Hunter, where can I watch Project Blue Book? All right. Yes, because of course. This is all about Project Blue Book, isn't it? Yeah. Thanks, Jackie. Thank you very much. And J Boss the Don says, how are you, J Boss? How are you, mate? I've not seen you for a long time. Yeah, your name sounds familiar, but I don't think you've watched for a while. So watching Project Blue Book now, of course, it is on the. I think it's on the History Channel in the UK now. Let's just double check that, because the History Channel, of course, in North America and in my country, the United Kingdom, is different. Oh, and here we go. It's showing on UK now stuff. Here we are. I'm just gonna look it up on the UK site because I hear it's not. The thing is, I don't often watch Lee TV, do I? No, it's not yet. No, it's not. Okay. I don't actually watch much TV. I mean, I've got a TV in the house, but Ahbat and Hossan, my housemates, they watch it. I mean, I hardly ever watch it. Because 99% of it is utter bullshit. And the 1% worth watching always ends up online. So, and the answer to the question which Duppy asked, where can I watch Project Blue Book? The answer is you have to watch it in illicit locations, which I did. I don't feel guilty about that because David Wavid says it is on TV now. Right, okay. I thought I'd say that it is now. I didn't know it was on the History Channel because like I said, I've been watching it online. I've been watching it from illicit sources. And there's many of those. I mean, if you want to, if you look at, you know how to use a search, you know how to use, like, if you use a VPN or Tor, you can find it very easily, even in places you can't find it on the World Wide Web. It's within your nation, stuff like that. You can find it quite easily. You can watch it, but I mean, I don't feel bad about that because I'm getting the DVDs of it. It's just I don't want to have to wait that long. I want to review it. I want to watch it. So apologies for that, but that's how I chose to watch it. Jackie says, which is your favorite book you've written? Oswald Trilogy is definitely the best thing I've done. Definitely. My best short story is Ouija. Definitely, that's my favorite short story. David says, if you subscribe to Now TV, they show. Oh, right. Now TV. Okay. Cheers, Torrent. Yeah, it's David mentions a couple of other places as well where you can access it. That's true. Jackie says, have you read Mark Collett's book, The Fall of Western Man? No. I thought about ordering. He gives it away for free. I on it as a PDF. I haven't watched it. If I do, I'll get the paperback or something at some point. I think it's hardback and paperback. He does it as well. But I've listened to a talk about it an awful lot on his channel. Israel Diego Rivera 2 Genius 2. Let's have a look here. What's he saying? The hospitals are empty, apart from the British Bigfoot, Trump, Boris, and what is it? The Israelis? No. It just says the hospitals are empty. Yeah, this is something I've been talking about with some of my former brother porters, because I am in touch with a few people who keep me informed. It's always going to be a part of my identity, as I explained, and my voice and other blogs I have a blog called HPWA, Hospital Porters Welfare Association. Now I'm sort of working on a little article about that. They've told me, that my colleagues have told me, that the hospitals are very quiet at the moment. The reason is, I mean, some people say this is suspicious. Indeed, there is you say the coronavirus is a scam, the hospitals are empty. I'm not sure that's a reason for thinking coronavirus is a scam. Yeah, I mean, coronavirus may well be a scam, but the empty hospitals, I think, are more caused by the fact that basically the patients who would normally be admitted are not being admitted. So everyone basically is being told to stay at home. The people who they would admit as inpatients are not being admitted. People who would go to A&E are now told, no, don't go. They're calling NHS Direct and they're saying, no, treat that at home. But so basically, everything you were there on the live stream I did. I think you may well have gone to her Panwo Voice and read the articles I've written. If you listen to the last two her Panwo shows, you'll I've covered that. You will know that you're right. There's a lot of. I mean, I don't believe the coronavirus does not exist, but the true story behind it is being kept from us, and we've been lied about it. Okay, Jackie says, I'm reading it at the moment, but disappointed. I'm reading 2 books, actually, to research my new novel, but when I'm through with those, maybe I'll check out Mark's book. Paul Armstrong. Hello, Paul. How are you? Rake. Hello, Rake. My cat is a Methodist. Really? He's fine. Oh, I see. I didn't know cats could be Methodist. That's strange, I must admit. Because the hospitals... Believe it or not, hospitals do make preparations for things like this, viral pandemics. I mean, I used to take part in the drills when I was a porter, so we are ready for this sort of thing. Even it never actually happened while I was a porter. Yes, they'd be blowing the whistle if it was business as usual. Well, yeah, I mean, they are blowing the whistle, you see. I mean, they are, but it's not business as usual. It's completely different. And the reason it's quieter is because a lot of they're clearing everything for the coronavirus. So it's only urgent cases they're treating. Non-essential operations has been cancelled. The GPs are now suggesting people aren't going to GP surgery, GP admissions unit is shut, things like that. Kenjiro Sanga, hello Kenjiro. At the minute, I'm rewatching WCW Monday Night. Is that all right? Is that wrestling? Diego Ferrer, they sign a Secrets Act. We do sign a confidentiality. We sign a confidentiality deal. We have to keep everything that happens in the hospital secret, or we can face disciplinary action and legal action in some cases. Yes. John Nolan. It's the Germans, Richie. Oh, John Nolan is channeling his inner Shrimpton there. David says, "Oh, come on. Did you sign the official Secrets Act?" No, I didn't, but I signed confidentiality deals. All right, guys. I've got 28 people watching now. So, how many of you seen Project Blue Book? Put 1 in the chat if you've seen it. 2 if you haven't, because I'd like to know how many of you have actually seen it, because I'd be interested to know. If you've just seen 1 episode, just put 1. I mean, you don't have to see all the episodes. Because right, Hugo's not seen any. Neither has David. Rake's seen it. Denise hasn't seen it. Okay. It's just that these statistics. Luke's not seen it. Matt's seen it. Chevy 04's halfway. Is that halfway through all the episodes? Because if you only have to see one of them really, and you'll get something out of this review. Hello, Jason. Jason Sean, how are you? I hope I'm not like buffering again. I mean, I did my best. I've checked my connection speed, and it's fine. It didn't work, so I'm back to Google Chrome. David, I will be saying a few words about. Oh dear, it's buffering again. I don't know what to do about the buffering. I'm sorry. I've checked my connection speed is fine. Yeah, Charles Scott. Oh dear, hi. John Nolan says, sorry, I just listened to Richie Allen. Oh, I like Richie. He's cool. Right. I don't know what to do about the bloody buffering. All right. I don't know if you're hearing my words right now, because I've checked my connection speed. Okay. I'll just type this in here. Kenjiro says, I've seen Project A with Jackie Chan. Does that count, Ben? I'm afraid not, no. Why is it buffering? My connection is fine. Shut all open windows. I've done that. I've shut everything. I was going to keep this open as notes. I'll just shut it all, and I'll just shut that. And so I shut all windows now. I've only got one browser open. I don't know what hell else to do. I just don't know what else to do. Shit. We can hear you. See, I know the buffering's at my end, because when the recording came out, it was like gaps in it. It was just suddenly. I noticed that the recording was a little bit shorter than the time I've been on air, which meant there was some buffering. I'm just going to check my processor, task manager. Let's have a look. Memory 41%, disk 45, CPU 28. Okay, it's not overloading. There's no other apps open. Everything is 0 megabytes. Hang on, network memory. Yeah, 41% RAM, which is not shouldn't be a problem. Okay. I'm sorry, Hugo, you're getting buffering. I don't know why it's happening. I just don't know why it's happening. Good now, says Chevy. Okay. I'm just going to we have to make the best of it. Hello, Douglas Barter's Legs is here. Good. Hello, Douglas. How are you? Right. I'm glad that's... Okay. I'm going to go on about this series anyway. Now, for those of you, some of you seen it, some of you haven't. What have I got here? Where's my notes? Hang on. Oh, I've got the new Nexus. If you just... I just realised they're kind of typical lockdown self-isolation videos. I've noticed a lot of people making videos like that at the moment because of various things. Right, Charles, that's you remember that you remember the 1952 major event? Oh, was that covered in the series? But in my reviews, I do a detailed review of every single episode, which is kind of like I've just looked back and realised it's kind of a typical lockdown self-isolation videos. But anyway, as I said in my reviews, season 2 was excellent. I mean, I with some series, you know what it's like. You get a really good first series, and the second series is rubbish. Project Blue Book is still good. It's maintaining its energy. You always know when a series is about to end because they do like a series, they do like a season which is just really slack, and you think they're losing it. That's definitely not the case with Project Blue Book. Season 2, top marks. It was different from season 1, and it was more like a serial. There was not so many independent episodes. It was different from season 2 in the sense it was leading. I thought it was leading up to some kind of major public event. What I was hoping was, and I think this might happen when the thing's over, when they choose to end it, it'll lead up to a major disclosure event, a public disclosure event, something truly revolutionary. At which point, it'll slip into alternate history, like my Roswell trilogy. Now, it hasn't done that yet. But it did. It's still done it's done a hell of a lot. It's done a real. It's really done quite a lot in that respect. It's been on the way to kind of. What am I saying? I don't know. It's like, what I mean is, it wasn't like season 1 in the sense that it led up to the Washington merry-go-round. That's the 10th episode. It led up to episode 8 was like the key episode. I think that was the linchpin. That was the turning point, because episode 8 was the kind of exopolitical conclusion of the entire season. If you remember, this was this really amazing episode called What Lies Beneath, which deals with secret technology, the underground base at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, things like that. You also learn a lot about MK Ultra, the CIA, and what they're up to as well. Episode 9 was a weird one because it was kind of an interlude. Because after episode 8, after you got this conclusion, episode 9 then is kind of like it's an episode out of the series in a sense. It's an interlude with really, with the UFO phenomenon plays only as like an auxiliary role. It's responsible for the crash of the aircraft with the bomb on it. Everything else after that is simply the bomb, the plane, the Russian pilots defusing the bomb, things like that. You could actually remove the UFO element from that episode and have some other reason for the plane to crash, called, maybe they had a breakdown or something, or they hit a dove or something like that. And you could just as easily, it wouldn't actually change the story, except I think the Canadian authorities would have to think of another reason for getting Hynek and Quinn up there, the Project Blue Book guys. So 9 is kind of it's almost like a diversion. It's a digression from the story. Then season 10 comes along, Operation Mainbrace, and that is intended to set up the disappearance of Michael Quinn, which therefore opens the door to more episodes. It's like a cliffhanger from which people will then move on to season 3. The fact that they ended season 2 like that means that obviously they're very confident about a contract for season 3. In fact, it may already have been signed. History may already have been agreed to produce it. And based on the viewing figures, actually, which are really quite... what I must say is good. Is the popularity of it is actually very important, and I think I'll come on to that. But the reason I'm pleased it's popular, the reason I'm pleased that people are watching it, it's getting a lot of attention, is the themes of the series are extremely exopolitical. There's no doubt with this at all that aliens exist. This is revealed to us in the first scene of the first episode of the first season. Aliens do exist. That is revealed in the meeting of the sort of MJ12 meeting at the beginning, at the very start of the series. There's also no doubt the cover-up exists, because you see at this MJ12 meeting, you see the various dark characters, including Harding and Valentine, talking about how they're going to cover it up. And they agree, they get Quinn in and he recruits Hynek and things like that. You also have what's revealed in season 2, not in season 1, is there is internal conflict within the authorities about how to deal with this situation between Project Blue Book and CIA, which is embodied in the character of Daniel Banks, a new character who was not there in season 1. He enters in episode 3 of season 2, and he's this CIA officer who pretends to befriend the Project Blue Book team when his intention is to undermine them. And indeed, he tries to use the Robertson panel. He's obviously put in there by the CIA to try and use the Robertson panel to shut down Project Blue Book. So there's no single agenda. And indeed, there's what's hinted at in season 2 is almost a QAnon situation, where there's a kind of... It may involve the character of Mr. Fixer as well, because as you know, Mr. Fixer was part of the mind control laboratory that Banks run, or his predecessor used to run. That there's a situation where there's a kind of a rebellious element, breakaway civilization, which is fighting back against the Illuminati type government that we're familiar with. And there's a lot of other loose ends. There's a lot of loose ends aren't tied up. I mean, I think there's got to be if there's not a season 3, then it will never. Obviously, that's the end of the story, and it ends that way, which is very unsatisfactory. Because of course, it's not just Mike Quinn who's gone missing. We haven't seen Harding's LSD trip. They surely got to show us General Harding tripping his ass off on acid. I mean, that would be so cool, wouldn't it? Oh, anyway, it's over. It's like you come to the end of a series. It's like the end of a good holiday. You're going, well, oh dear, what am I going to do now? I've got ideas for. By the way, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop making videos. Just Project Blue Book's over now. I'm actually going to make another video about the Russian Roswell, which because there's a lot more to be said about that based on some of the comments that have been posted on that. So there will be more videos coming up. But this is a unique series, an excellent series, and it's very different from Project UFO. This rather. A bit of a milquetoast series, actually, from the 70s, which I used to like when I was a kid. Characters who go around investigating UFOs. But there was never any suggestion that the government would be in any way duplicitous. With Project Blue Book, there's absolutely no doubt the government are the enemy. It's like the X-Files. It's much darker, much more gritty. Oh, I do wonder whether it's a cause or an effect. I mean, whether it's a kind of... whether... something has happened in a sense that Project Blue Book was being conceived of when the ATIP revelations came out, because the first season came out last year, early last year, and of course ATIP was about just over a year before then. I remember I was actually the moment ATIP breaks out, you know exactly, because I'm actually in the middle of it's on the Basis Project, because I'm there with Colin Wolford. Colin Wolford and I are doing an interview on the Basis Project, and suddenly it's mentioned in the studio. So where were you when that kind of thing? It's captured on camera. But I mean, the way UFOs have been portrayed in the media has changed. It's changed permanently and irrevocably. They can't go back now. So whatever the issues associated with the TTSA and ATIP, and I've made videos about that. Many videos about that. It's permanent. It's there to stay. No comments. Oh, actually, just one comment was posted on the live stream notice. That was from Tim, who said, "Awesome video. Keep up the amazing content." And I said, "Thanks, will do." So thanks for that, Tim. So I'll just go to that's the only lead off I have now. And Charles says here, oh, wait, we are. Charles Scott, David, David Wavid says, Blue Book was always Tim. David, I'll tell you because, I mean, Hynek realised this because Hynek was in it from the beginning because he was part of Project Sign in '47 and then Grudge, and then these were the forerunners to Blue Book. It started with Project Sign and Project Grudge, and finally Project Blue Book. Hynek was involved with all those. He was there right up to the end in '69 when the Condon report was issued and the whole thing was shut down. By the time that came around, those 22 years changed his life. He went from a skeptic who was just sort of doing this UFO thing just as almost an aside or a sabbatical. It was meant to be just some kind of sabbatical. He didn't believe at all. To a man who not only believed in UFOs, but he also understood the exopolitical issues, that is the cover-up. And he was part of a whitewashing campaign. I mean, his original. I mean, there's no real equivalent to this, but Ed Ruppelt, Captain Edward Ruppelt, was the original head of the project, who Hynek liked very much. Ruppelt was actually got rid of in favor of someone else whose name I can't remember. But Hynek said what was his name? I don't know. When he came in, everything changed because Ruppelt was actually a good guy. Ruppelt was open-minded. He was replaced by someone who was less open-minded. Hello, Tim. Tim Elf is there. Is it F? Tim F. Hello there, Tim. Rake says, very like that ball. All right. Rake says, who's not dead? You mean Mike Quinn? I don't know. He's not dead. Tim, yes. Tim, he got taken by the USO. That was what was revealed. I mean, it's not certain. I mean, that's the exciting thing, isn't it? That's the exciting thing, because at the end you find out, don't you? You find out that this crop circle symbol, the one that was at that's actually a symbol of. It appears to be a symbol of like a portal network. I think, yeah, Tim Quinn got taken by the USO. Hynek can sense that he's alive and was worked out that he's in Antarctica and he's heading for Antarctica. Hey, let's get that acid down him. Oh man, it was so good because Harding, I mean, you realize there's so much more to that character when you see him in the confession box. He's in the confessional with his priest, basically telling the priest everything. You can see he's troubled by what he's doing. He's troubled by the extraterrestrial presence, and as a Roman Catholic, it's not something that he learned at Sunday school. And it was when that Harding character, not Harding, that's agent who was with the prostitute, when he came at him and he says, I've got a message from God, because he'd been taking this acid that this CIA prostitute, had just fed him. He's going to go to Trip House City. Let's see it, but of course you don't. I think we're going to have to wait for season 3. But surely they won't shut down that subplot. That subplot will be explored. I hope so. Charles says, I wonder if this Project Blue Book series is partially disinformation and partially revealing truths at the same time. If it's disinformation, in what way? I mean, I don't. If it's disinformation, what elements do you consider disinformation? Because I know that people disagree on what is disinformation and what is real. I know that I've got into a lot of arguments about that with you guys and with other people. So I didn't spot anything that I say is disinformation. I would say is disinformation. I think it's the opposite. I think it's revealing truths. Stillskin, hello. Happy lockdown, Ben. Yeah. Thanks, Stillskin. I've been watching Have you watched Jonathan Pye in his lockdown? His videos. They're so funny. They really are. Tim F says TTSA has been MIA since working with the army. Probably had to sign NDAs. Yeah, they've well, they came out with this. They keep doing this, right? They go quiet, don't they? And they've done it now. They've gone quiet again. Because remember, I made a video. Oh, when was it? It was one of my UFO disclosure videos. I think it was the last one of the late ones in 2019, where it was revealed about the other pilots coming out of the closet. It's revealed about the official Navy acknowledgement that the videos, that the Tic Tac footage and that is real, and that also they have more. They have other things. They have telemetry. They have firing solutions. They have things like that, which they can't reveal, but they are there. And I thought to myself, finally, TTSA has awoken from its long slumber and is now going to get back into action. But as you say, they've got some kind of new deal going. I remember that, and they've gone MI missing in action again. Yeah, they've gone quiet again, and their merch shop is still open. You can buy things, T-shirts, coffee mugs. I don't want to misjudge them and think they've just gone back to sleep again. We may come out with some kind of big revelation again, but really we haven't heard an awful lot. Chevo4 says, does the series Taken hold any weight, as in timelines? I remember Lubbock, Texas being mentioned. That series is brilliant. Now, there's several Takens. There's a movie called Taken, and there's a new series called Taken. We're talking about the Steven Spielberg Presents. And this is a mini-series. Simply, it's, I think it was about 8 episodes, feature-length episodes. And it was excellent. It was astonishing. It includes a lot of, I don't remember whether it was mentioned the Lubbock Lights. I do remember there was lots of UFO issues being mentioned. It has the theme of UFOs, aliens being present on the Earth, disguised as humans. It had the theme of star seeds, star children, hybrids. And it ends, I mean, the ending's quite, it's amazing, isn't it, the ending? Because the little girl goes up into the UFO. It's quite sad. That's an amazing series, that is. Charles Scott says, I want to know how you felt about the series. Right, cheers, Scott. Charles. No problem. I mean, I hope I clarified. Yeah, I've not spotted anything in Project Blue that I would call disinformation. I think everything I've seen in Project Blue Book is actually very progressive and positive. It says Dark Skies. Yeah, that was Bryce Sable's series. That's very good. That was excellent. That was really that was about like these two guys who look, and it was about these aliens on Earth. There's some hive thing on Earth. I thought that was a bit tacky, the hive thing, the hive element of it. But apart from that, it's a good series. Tim F says, Hal Puthoff just did a 2-hour seminar with Q&As at the end. Very interesting. It's right. I'll go watch that, Tim. Thanks very much. Hal Puthoff, of course, I know what everyone's going to say, and I understand. I agree. You know, you've got to ask us. I do ask the essential question: what is this guy Hal Puthoff doing in a UFO? In a UFO project, a UFO disclosure project, because Hal Puthoff was a CIA psychological warfare expert, and he was also involved in remote viewing and psychic warfare. He was the guy who recruited Ingo Swann and Uri Geller to the psychic warfare project at the Stanford Research Institute. Now, he was a celebrity. He's this magician, Ben Spoons, and does all these other things. But Ingo Swann is by far the most interesting character. He's not hardly anyone has heard of him, but outside the UFO paranormal conspiracy theory community. But he's far more interesting than Geller. I mean, he's written a really good book. Definitely. So Hal Puthoff on YouTube. I won't open it right now because I don't want any more buffering. But I'll go and see what he has. I'm glad that these guys are still saying something. I mean, despite the fact we shouldn't, we should be wary of these people. We shouldn't ignore them. We shouldn't just say I'm not going to listen to anything they say. Because you know what I mean. Rake says, "Blessed be, stay positive." Thanks, Rake. Rake in the Sir Francis Dashwood sense. That's a reference to an old video. Chevy04 says, I just googled Taken by Steven Spielberg. Oh, yeah. That's bloody amazing. Tim says he talks a lot about Swan in the Q&A portion. I've got to go and see that, actually. I won't Google it, but I'll just make a note. Hang on. I'll just say here. Right, I'll go and check that out, guys. Okay, so unfortunately, there's so many. There's I mean, it's a bit annoying because there's There's a 2017 series. There's the film, and there's the Taken franchise of action films with Steven Spielberg. 2016 miniseries. 2002, I think this is it. The American Steven Spielberg presents Taken. Yeah, American science fiction miniseries aired on the Sci-Fi Channel. It's damn good, man. It follows the lives of three families who seek to cover up the Roswell crash and the existence of aliens. That's right. A lot of them are like government officials. It is actually so good. Yeah, it was really, really good. I really enjoy it. It's yes, it's 10 episodes. I think they're sort of like all quite they're long episodes. I think it's quite a long thing actually. Tim F says he talks Puthoff talks a lot of Swan in the Q&A portion. Right. I look forward to seeing that, Tim. I really will. I'll definitely look forward to seeing that. Can you just think because that guy, his book was to you guys who wants to actually join in and actually watch. Anyway, guys, I'll take a little break because there's no one else asking. There's no other comments. So post your comments or questions. I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going to get some more water for dragon juice. Okay. Hey guys, hope you're all right. So right, Diego Rivera. Oh, yeah, Diego Rivera's me tooing somebody. Anyway, Hugo Rue, no buffering at all when no traffic on here. Buffering once. I'm thinking maybe switching. I mean, BitChute, you can't do live streams on BitChute, but I'm wondering if I could use DLive or something because I know a lot of people are using DLive now. Fairy Trish says, how high is Ben's video collection going to reach next to his bed? Oh, they're old DVDs, yeah. Sorenable, hello, Sorenable, how are you? Oh, Hugo, it could be something to do with my. Could it be something to do with my devices? My webcam. I mean, the webcam worked okay before, and I've got these earphones. Could it be something to do with that? I can't see how. What you get if these fail, you get like a silence. You just get like a silence on the soundtrack, or last night because I actually recorded a new episode of the Apollo Detectives last night, and it worked fine. So it doesn't affect Skype, doesn't affect anything else. My connection is fine. I've checked it. It's exactly what I pay for. So I don't know why that is. It's in line with the usual broadband speed in my area. Has anyone's electricity gone off? Presumably none of your electricity's gone off because otherwise you wouldn't be here, would you? But I hear we might have some blackouts because of all the people at the power stations and people who all the electricians are like off sick and they're self-isolating and things like that. But it hasn't happened yet. Oh yeah. Okay, guys. I think I might have to call it a night. It's only 47 minutes. Oh, Hugo says here. All I can say, when you're in the kitchen, no buffering. When you use it, buffering every minute. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's the effect I have on it. So Fairy Trish is in Dumfries. No power cuts yet. Right. So if Scotland's okay, and that's good. I haven't heard about any power cuts yet here. I mean, there've been power cuts before. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad and mum remember it, but I was just a little kid. But there was strikes and things like that years ago. Lots of strikes, and apparently some electricity went off somewhere because people went on strike. Where I lived in Lampeter, West Wales, there were regular power cuts because it was just a bad area in those days. There's only 19 viewers at the moment. I think, and I wish there was something I could do about that. I really do. I wish there was a way I could fix it, but I don't know what's wrong. I literally do not know what's wrong. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. There's not enough people watching. Okay, and so is it? Oh, ET says here, will you voluntarily take the anti-COVID? No worries, Denise. Denise says, I'm sorry I'm not talking much. I'm working while you watch. Charles Scott, it says, if the US Navy released UFO footage not long ago, the evidence is coming out. That's right. Yes, Charles. Yes. What ET said about the vaccine, I'll probably cover in the future. I already have mentioned it on her Panwo Voice and on her Panwo radio. But if a vaccination comes out, there'll be a massive, lots of effects from that. Stephen Truth Singer says, I've been temporarily housed because the police there are... All right. I'm glad you got somewhere, Stephen, because I remember the picture. You put up a video of your tent, and I'm very sorry you couldn't get into the hostel where you normally live. No power cuts, Cicero. Hello, Jamelia. Welcome, Jamelia Jackson. How are you? Denise says, I'm working while I'm watching you. No problem. No problem, Denise. Yeah, I mean, the vaccine, when the vaccination comes about, my live streams suddenly don't work properly, and I don't know why. Chevy Force says, my UFO encounter is on Richard Hall's site, Dave Hojan's interview. All right. What's... Oh, great, Chevy. Well, feel free to post a link. I mean... They might close down all alternative news. Well, what's going to happen is they already have a vaccine, I believe. They're just waiting for the right moment to put it on the market. And when they do, it's going to be the biggest payday Big Pharma has ever achieved. They are not going to make it's going to become immediately available to all state private healthcare providers. And they are going to rake it in this that people will pay a fortune for it. Insurance companies, state healthcare providers, private companies, individuals, they're all going to pay for this vaccine. It probably won't be necessary to make it compulsory in many cases. I think most people snap it up anyway. I don't think we should, because of for the because I don't know if you're going to even read it. I don't even know if you're going to hear me say it. There we are. Splendid Isolation. That's a good name. Splendid Isolation. Very, very. Measure your upload speed. If it's less than 200 kilobits per second, then complain to your ISP. It's actually 11 point. It's 11 point. I've got it written down here. It is 11.98 megabits per second. Bits or bytes per second. So it's hard to maintain a constant 480p stream with much less. It's way more than that, Splendid. Way more. It's pretty good. Sorry, I've got vitamin C here. It's soluble vitamin C. Stephen Truthseeker says, did anyone see the guy in New York asking questions about the empty hospitals? Yes, I did. It's like the news are saying the hospitals are overflowing because the GPs and NHS Direct and other people like that and other clinics, they're not sending anyone in as inpatients unless they can help it. They're only doing emergency cases. Have a look, ET. No problem, mate. Diego Rivera says, what do the Roswell aliens want? What did they want? That's a good question. Did they crash deliberately? Was it a landing? Was it a deliberate revelation? I mean, I don't know. They may have been testing us to see what we would do. They may have been testing to see if we would be honest. But there's this alien interview thing. It's not the same thing as it's not the alien interview that Victor Nevada talks about. I think that's Spanish, and I think I know what that says, and it's rude, so I'm getting rid of it. It's an insult. Funny, I don't speak Spanish, but I know some of the insults. Splendid Isolation says 11.8 Mbps is 1.5. That's more than enough, yeah, for even a 1080 stream. What else could it be, I wonder? Yeah, good question, Splendid. I mean, I've also checked my system, and I've got the memory's not being overused. The disk memory and CPU are not being overused. They're not over. They're not. So I don't know what it is. But is there any more questions or any comments anyone wants to make? If not, I will say I'll bid you a pleasant evening. There's only 22 people watching, and that's a shame. I was hoping for more than that, but never mind. Charles Scott says, think Howard Menger, real deal. The UFO photograph similar to TR-3B in East Germany, crashed dart with 3 gravity amplifiers. Oh, yeah. That's like the thing in Belgium, isn't it? Like some of these flying triangle UFOs may not be ET. Some of them, I think, are our own secret technology. Now, some people claim this counts for the entire UFO phenomenon. I don't agree with that at all for various reasons I've talked about, but it may well account for some of it. Graham Murray, hi. Do the aliens not have a cure for this virus? Well, if they are, they're keeping it to themselves, aren't they? Diego Rivera, will they shut down the internet as the hospitals are exposed as being empty? Oh, there'll be attempts to suppress. I mean, shutting down the internet is a lot of I mean, shutting down the entire internet drainage, if you remember that. Something like that might happen, and they'll blame it on terrorists or something, or some technical problem. A lightning bolt struck a Cassidy's book, Rebel Gene. I haven't yet, but I've seen it advertised. Stephen says, I seen lights in the sky about 5 nights ago. All right. Did you manage to get a photo? Because and let us know. There may be other reports of it. Splendid isolation, says to Diego Vera. You could go visit your local and find out for yourself. Yeah, I mean, you could check out your own hospital. I mean, I know I've got inside information crisis. They are just basically everything non-essential is now completely off the cards. The people who would normally be admitted are not being admitted; they're being sent home and treated at home. There's a lot more care in the community at the moment. Just today, actually, I was walking past like an old people's home. Oh, and I was at work, and there were like domiciliary nurses with protective clothing on, plastic aprons. You've not heard an ambulance, right? I've heard a couple, but not many. In fact, it's like there's not much going on anywhere. It's like the whole of my city is kind of shut down. There's hardly any traffic. The shops are all shut. It's got an atmosphere a bit like Christmas Day. It's weird. But the weather's much nicer, of course. Yeah, I'll tomorrow, Diego Vera. I will make a point of listening to see how many ambulances I hear. I really will make a point of that because I haven't heard as many as normal. I don't think. Generally, the traffic has been a lot less. Oh, Charles says here, the film and photo taken by Menja of the Nordics. What's your take on the Nordics? Not the hybrid blondes. Howard Meg. I don't. Let me just Google his name because I've heard of him and. Let me just check his name out. Sort of with the big, sort of slightly misshapen figure. The Nordics are obviously one of the species of ETs. They are one of the more common type seen. They're the most humanoid probably as the humans. I mean, they're the kind of Nordics you could almost put in normal clothes and they could normal hairstyles. They could walk down the street and you wouldn't look. Golden blonde hair. They're obviously not human, but they are what they are. I don't know. They're obviously one of the species of ETs. Stilkin says Sean Atwood guest says it's prelude to World War III. He's okay, well, not yet. Graham says it feels more like a takeover. Well, Graham, it is, isn't it? I mean, basically, we are essentially under martial law without the troops. I mean, the lockdown is essentially total. Oh, hang on. Hugo says the video quality is not good, low frame rate sort of thing. That must point to a problem somewhere at your end. Too much buffering. Hugo, what could it be? Do you know any idea what it could be? Because low frame rate. I mean, is it the webcam? Because the webcam used to work fine. The webcam worked fine on Skype last night. Splendid. By the way, if you're skeptical of the virus, have to watch Computing Forever's latest video. I've watched a couple of his. I mean, I've been watching Styx Hexenhammer and his take on the coronavirus. There's so many people with different ideas. I can't comment on. I can't cover them. Stephen says the revolution will not be televised. No, it may not be televised, Stephen, but it'll probably be on YouTube. Does anyone have any idea? Splendid. I've done that. They tested my life. They just tested to see what my connection speed was. They said it was fine. Does anyone have any idea what else it could be? Because I'm going to stop the stream in a moment. Right. It seems like a slow frame rate on the webcam. Okay. Right. What I could do is maybe get a new webcam. Try it with a new webcam. But I mean, what effect when webcams fail during live streams? Normally you just get like a blank screen. You don't normally get buffering. You get like a blank screen. Diego Rivera says, oh, no worries, Hugo. Thanks for letting me know. It is censorship because the coronavirus scam is being exposed. Yeah. Guys, I'm going to call it a night. All right. There's only 24 people watching. The technical problems are still here, and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you very much, all of you. Cosmic. Oh, Claire. Hello, Claire. Have you checked the bit rate in the control panel audio? Let's have a look. Input. Okay. The microphone's working all right. Display. Oh. I don't know exactly how to do that, I think, Claire. I'll have to sort it out maybe later. Still, hopefully the deep state have made a huge mistake. All right. Night, Hugo. All right, Claire, I'll try and sort that out afterwards. But thanks very much. But anyway, guys, thank you very much, all of you, for this short but pleasant live stream. And I hope to see you again soon. I'll be making new videos very soon. I'm doing another Russian Roswell video, and I've got more plans, definitely. No, Fairy Trish. See you then. Okay, Claire, I'll have maybe try that later on. But thanks, all of you. Take care, guys. See you, Splendid Isolation. Thank you very much. And hope you have a nice evening, all of you. See you, Stiltskin. See you, Denise. Bye-bye. Take care. And sweet dreams, everyone. Night, Claire.